Hi guys, it's Ashley here, and I finally got my hair cut, so I no longer look like a scruff. But yeah, anyway, down to business. So on to my other series talking about threads or clues in Scotland. I thought I'd talk about different colour threads that are used in Scottish folk magic for healing and whatnot. But first of all, before I go on to that, I'll go talk about three Scottish terms which are similar but have different meanings to it. So first of all, you might have heard is a clew. A clew is a piece of thread or string. You've got a clootie. A clootie is a piece of rag or a hanky. And a clout is your clothes. Like you might have heard the saying, don't cast a clout until the day is out. And that means like if you have or don't cast the clout the day's out, or don't cast the clout until May is out. And that's basically saying one's don't put your washing out on the line until May is out, and the other one is if you have your clothes inside out, don't turn it the other way until after 12 o'clock. But yeah, so there's the three terms that are sound similar but different, but all to do with cloth. So that's Clew, Clootie, Clout. Which where it comes from, I'll give you a Clouting comes from. So yeah, down to business. So I thought I'd talk about what everyone are quite common with. So in Scottish tradition, Scottish folklore, you have the use of red threads, and this was predominantly used for bounding charms, tying charms together, and whatnot. And it such as tying the rowan crosses, threading rowan berries, threading coral, threading lamber beads, which is amber. People would have heard the song, the saying, red thread, rowan wood and red thread put the witches to their speeds, or rowan wood and red thread, arc the witches be dead. And it's generally believed, because the reason why we use Scottish, in the past Scottish cunning folk used red thread is because it's the colour of blood and the essence of life, the life force. The next I'll go on to is the black thread. Now, the black thread was used for curing sprains or broken bones. And in Shetland, this was called the wrestling threads. And this would have been knotted, had 9 knots knocked into it, and then wrapped around the afflicted area with a chant that goes like this. The Lord raid, the foul slayed, he lighted and he righted, he set joint to join, bone to bone, and sinew to sinew, heal in the Holy Ghost's name. And you would say that probably about 3 times or 9 times, according to the knots, 9 knots. It's chanted 9 times, wrapped around the afflicted area. So then we'll go on to the blue clew. The blue clew was used by women to ease either childbirth or to cure fever on women who were nursing their infants. And it was either wrapped around the arm to cure them of fever, the mother of fever if they are feeding their infants, or it was wrapped around their thigh, their right thigh, to ease childbirth. And in fact, like a lot of folklore denotes that these blue clues were deemed so magical that these would be passed on from mother to daughter, and they would be deemed with great magical quality. Also, these blue clues, it is mentioned in folklore that witches would use them in their necromantic practices. Blue clue is also used in a divination rite where you can divine who your husband is, and it's called the winning of the blue clue, where the woman would throw into the kiln of the mill or the corn store a ball of blue wool, and they will wind it quickly, pronouncing the alphabet, and when the letter that it sort of the thread tugged on or departed through the burning the clue, and it tugged and burnt, that would be the letter of your husband. Or sometimes it was denoted that you would say who holds thy, like you would hold the other end of the clue, the ball of wool in the fire, and you would say to the spirits of the fire, who holds thy, who holds the end of thy thread, and they would say their name, and that would be the name of your future husband. So yeah, and also I'll note that it seems that within Scottish magic, folk magic, that using threads was quite predominant within like healers, charmers, cunning folk. One poem, 16th century poem by Alexander Montgomery, in his poem Flighting, which notes a woman who's a cunning woman, and uses clues, and the part of the poem I'll say now. So it goes like this: Nick Nevin with her nymphs in numbers anew, with charms from Caithness and Carnia Ross, whose cunning insists in casting a clue. Now, this could be Nick Nevin as in like the fairy queen, or it could be referring to a charmer or a wise woman with the name Nick Nevin. Mostly Nick Nevin would have been a surname, Nick being daughter, Nevin being the last name, so daughter of Nevin, or Nevin. So it could be referring to the surname of a cunning woman, like you would say cunning mural, or who else, like cunning Boswell, like you would say cunning Boswell or cunning mural. Or it could be referring to the fairy queen, Nick Nevin. So, but with this poem's basically saying that they are using threads for forms of magic and cunning, and used in charms. So it seems like there's a long tradition within Scottish folk magic where threads are very important in healing customs, or necromancy, as it's seen with the blue clue. And also down to the Clooties, like dipping a Clootie into the holy well and then tying it to the tree, and as that Clootie decays, so does the illness. So there is a long tradition of using threads and material in Scottish folk magic in healing. So yeah, I just wanted to discuss that thing since this is another series of like thread lore and thread magic. Hope you enjoyed it. Over and out. Blessings to you all.